So today we're inventing our own type of Kung Fu. Yeah, that's right, it's Kung Fu combined with a sport. Today we're combining Kung Fu with a sport because we are trying to meld into an energy and mold into an energy as opposed to either a sport or Kung Fu. We're trying to do something that's separate. So as opposed to like a Kung Fu uniform and like, a hockey jersey, for example, or a soccer jersey, for example, we're combining the two to be able to make our own little sport Kung Fu uniform at the same time. And basically, it's also just like our own little jersey, our own little customized jersey to correspond the combination between Kung Fu and our sport, which is dynamic with the essence of trying to develop good vibrations and frequency in the world, which corresponds to Kung Fu, because you are your own frequency in that respect. When you're trying to study martial arts, you're trying to become a certain energy to try to like reverberate and vibrate against and among the flow of a given energy in a sort of connection in sparring or sort of battling in that respect. And so at the same time, we're making a sport out of that. We're making a sport out of the process and trying to make an interesting, unique jersey, a jersey that's similar to like more like an old school like knights during the time of knights, where it's kind of like a potato sack, where you wear like a potato sack basically. So it's kind of like that old school look, similar to like the hockey jersey of the Knights, the Las Vegas Knights, actually. Something like that, but actually more like the potato sack is more like old school. So it's kind of that style, that combination of like the old school, the days of being like knights. Basically, that's what I was trying to get at in essence. So it's kind of like combining the sport of being a knight kind of with like Kung Fu, whereas at the same time, our sport is trying to develop global good deeds. So it's similar also to the Kung Fu that's like a Brazilian martial art called capoeira, where it's actually like a dance at the same time. It's a dance at the same time as it is a martial art. And so we're combining the sports of being a knight and capoeira, and also the essence of like Wing Chun, which is a different martial art, which is very much about like, which is a Chinese martial art, which is about being more in flow and in tune with the actions and the reactions of somebody that you're sparring or battling with, for example. So it's very much about energy and becoming in tune. And so we want our jersey, our hockey jersey, our custom sports jersey to represent sort of the combination of having the battling mindset, similar to being like a knight, where you're going in with your armor. But at the same time, we are the sport, the actual sport is we're battling the mindset of society. And so we're having to contrast the traditional formats of thinking that the way that society wants us to, typically, as society's structure typically relates to and corresponds to, items and a lifestyle process that revolves around materialism, whereas this sport entails contrasting mentally contrasting like a knight, and like capoeira, becoming like an energy, like in Wing Chun, where in essence in this sport, where when you wear this mental jersey, which is like a potato sack from the old days, like the Knights days, basically a combination of all these items to make our sports jersey, our sports Kung Fu jersey, so that in essence, when you're wearing this jersey mentally, that you've got the mindset, you're able to wear the mindset to be able to oppose the opponents of society and flow towards the global good deeds economy by flowing towards and around what people typically ask you to do, and flowing into the mindset of global good deeds, in essence, and generating philanthropy energy around the world. And this connects a greater body of a connection of a greater global community. But nonetheless, it's a greater resistance. It's a greater resistance tool at the same time to be able to develop a new flow, a new energy, a silent flow, and a silent energy that can, in essence, be a sport that works together. So like capoeira, when you're training in capoeira, the martial art, it looks like you're dancing. So in the same respect, we're all meant to train with each other around the world in plain view, in plain sight. So we have the ability to train for future times to be able to battle with the way the whole world functions, so that the global good deeds economy wins, basically, so that the world can run and be fueled on global good deeds. And so this sport is very much like a mental sport. It's a mental sport that we're playing, but capoeira allows us to practice with each other in plain sight and make it look like we're dancing. And so at the same time, we want to be continuing to practice in this sport where we're resisting. It's a resistance mindset, similar to the movie V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta. I think I did a podcast episode a long time ago about V for Vendetta. I don't remember right now, but I think so. And anyways, this is what that's about, is that movie V for Vendetta, where we're connecting and connectively connecting our mindsets, similar to capoeira, where mentally we're playing the sports like knights where we're jousting with our enemies, and we're in essence going to battle mentally, but on the outside we're just gently dancing with each other and practicing with each other across the world. And Wing Chun is about becoming a frequency, like becoming an energy and a frequency, and just like flowing around the essence of society as it sort of unfolds and does what it tends to do from past trends, but we try to shape it and mold it and guide the energy going forward to work, alongside of the flow, which we are trying to indicate by sort of leading and trying to be a role model for, being a role model for that. And so that is our jersey. That is our jersey for our new sport, which combines being a knight, the sports of a knight in medieval times, and Wing Chun to become a frequency, and then capoeira to become like dancing and in plain sight, being able to practice with each other across the world to try to improve and enhance our global connective process to increase the global good deeds economy and the global philanthropy energy grid. And just a little bonus thought or perk at the end is to be able to sell and make money on Pinterest, to be able to make some money and make a handful of sales, and I don't know, over $1,000 a month apparently, from what I was told, on Pinterest, that you can make a blog, because Pinterest doesn't like it if you try to sell things directly through Pinterest and use affiliate websites directly connected. So if you make a blog as the intermediary and run people, your visitors, through Pinterest to your blog, that you can sell to any of the given affiliate websites to earn some extra cash on the side. Well, that's all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye, peace, bye. Oh yeah, let's also remember to push for world peace every day. Let's push for world peace every single day. Push for world peace every single day. And let's also remember to try to clear the animal shelters. Clear all the animal shelters in the world by fostering all the shelter animals and adopting all the shelter animals. And also let's try to hire all the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities. Hire the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities so that they have jobs and they do not have to be pushed aside and put away like they are in animal shelters. So let's clear all the animal shelters and rescue all the shelter animals and hire all the shelter animals as healers throughout our communities and push for world peace. Push for world peace every single day. And that's about all for now. Thanks again, Dinky Tech and Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.